Hello, my name is Sue O'Leary Hall. If you've been to one of the Thesan parent seminars over the last 4 or 5 years, you will probably recognise me. I'm sorry that we're not here together in person this year. Obviously, we are in a very unusual set of circumstances. So rather than running a seminar at this time, we are going to provide parents of Thornton pupils with a little vlog on how to support your child through the next few weeks of their GCSE studies. Now, obviously, as I'm sure you are aware, the GCSE exams have been cancelled this year and they're going to be replaced by some form of teacher assessment. We're still waiting to find out exactly what that's going to entail. But the purpose of this vlog is to look at how you can help your child to get themselves in a nice, calm, focused place for whatever assessments they face and to have some really useful revision skills to set them up in good stead. So the first thing that I would like to say is a huge well done to the Thornton pupils. I understand from Mrs. Thine and from Miss Stoven that there's been a really, really high level of engagement by all of the pupils this year, and we know that that is down not just to the pupils' hard work but also to parents' hard work too, in terms of making sure that the necessary tech is available at home and keeping those young people motivated through what is obviously a very, very challenging and prolonged period. So thank you, pupils and parents, for all you've done so far. In terms of where we're up to with pupils learning, teachers are a bit like doctors in a sense, in that they're continually diagnosing all of the things that Thornton pupils are doing really well at, things that they are confident and strong at in each of the subjects, and areas where a little bit more support or intervention might be needed. And that process will be happening not just when they're in school, but also during their home learning. So that's the first thing to say, really. The teachers are very much focused on making sure that every pupil has the opportunity to really do their best all the way through this year. And when they do come back to school, and the teachers are so looking forward to seeing the pupils in person, I know that because I've spoken to lots of them. When they do come back to school, there will be lots of opportunities actually this year for pupils to shine. Now, I know there's been quite a lot of doom and gloom in the national news about pupils being worried about the lack of final exams and worried about what the assessments are going to look like. But actually, I think as parents, we need to reassure our young people that there's lots more chances to shine this way. It's not as though everything is resting just on one big scary final exam. Teacher assessment could include anything from non-examined assessments, which in your day and mine was what we call coursework. It could involve things like end of unit tests. There is a possibility that the exam boards might also set some exam papers that teachers can use in school to give another piece of evidence towards finalising a pupil's terminal grade at the end of the GCSE course. It's a bit like a jigsaw, if you like, and all of the pieces come together to form a pattern which gives a sense of what the best fit final grade would be. So if you do have a young person at home who is really worrying about every single assessment point, one of the things that you could say to them actually is that teachers are trying to form a pattern. So if they have a wobbly result, and it's a one-off wobbly result, it's not the end of the world. We're trying to get the best fit grade overall. So I think that's quite an important reframe, if you like. So what else can we do as parents to support our young people over the next few weeks? Well, the first thing obviously is to make sure that your son or daughter is attending all of the online learning and getting that set work done to the best of their ability. And the next thing really is to try and make sure that they are looking after themselves while they're doing that. That they are making sure that when they're not doing the online learning, they are trying to get plenty of fresh air, taking regular screen breaks, checking in with their friends regularly. We know that peer-to-peer support makes a big difference in terms of young people's mental health and well-being, and also reduces feelings of isolation and loneliness. So making sure they have chances in between their online learning, or certainly at the end of the day, to check in with their friends, even if that's online. I think that's a really important thing to try and do every day if they can. Trying to get some exercise, ideally outdoors. I'm sitting in my office looking out at very snowy hills, so if you can get them out on a sledge, absolutely do. just trying to create a bit of lightness amidst all of the kind of very dull day in, day out routine, which, you know, it can sometimes feel that way for all of us, can't it, at the moment? Every day feels very similar to the last. So wherever they can have an opportunity for some fun and enjoyment, let's just seize that. And for us to do that too as parents, modelling that behaviour of taking a break, looking after ourselves, so that our pupils, our children can see that actually that's a completely healthy and useful thing to do along this GCSE journey. It's definitely a marathon rather than a sprint. If you are finding it tricky as a family, you know, if you've got a young person who is struggling to engage or who's feeling a bit low, please do feel free to get in touch with the form tutors at Cundall. You know, they're very, very keen to support the whole family, not just the pupil. So give them a call, drop them a quick email, and they can certainly arrange to provide whatever support is available and whatever they can do to help. They definitely will. Okay, so if you have a young person who is actually really, you know, quite on top of their learning at the moment and feels up to doing a little bit more, I know that prep isn't currently being set because there's so much going on in the way of online learning day to day, but if they want to do a little bit extra, I'm going to include with this vlog a booster grid of mainly activities that don't involve a computer. So if you want to get them away from the screen for a bit, then you could certainly use this as an enticement if they feel like they still want to be doing some kind of learning. That booster grid contains lots of different revision activities. Some are really quick ones, some are a little bit more involved. And if you have a few minutes this weekend and you are in the frame of mind where you fancy sitting down with your child and having an academic chat, you could print off the booster grid with them and then invite them to code the activities from A to D, depending on how long they think those activities would take them. So an A grade activity would be something that takes under 15 minutes. It's just a quick activity. A B would be 15 minutes to half an hour. A C, half an hour to 45 minutes. And a D activity would be 45 minutes to an hour. Then when they come back to that grid, if they think, oh, I've only got, you know, half an hour or so, I'll only look at the A and B activities and I'll choose one of those. If they think, oh, I've only got 5 or 10 minutes, I'll just pick an A. Now, they might not feel like doing the activities at this stage, and that is completely fine. There's no expectation to do any more than just the online learning that school's providing. But if they've got a little bit of time in half term or in the Easter holidays and they just fancy doing a bit extra, the booster grid would be a really good starting point for that. And I would really encourage, if they want to, for them to have a go at some of those activities. My cat Purdy has just jumped up next to me. This is the downside of working from home. I'm just going to kick her off the desk. Off you go, Purdy. I don't know whether you're up against this at home as well, but just trying to sort of create this very professional persona in meetings whilst you've also got children in the background and pets and goodness knows what. It's a continual ongoing challenge for us all, isn't it? So here are my top tips, just to sort of draw this together at the end of this vlog. The first thing that I really recommend, and that we as an organisation recommend, is in terms of promoting children's wellbeing at this time, lots and lots of praise for the stuff they're doing right. It doesn't have to be the big wow things. Just doing the online learning, doing the work set. Well done, that's fantastic. Keep going, I'm proud of you. Those are the basics that we want them to be doing academically. And if they're doing those, they're doing well. Also, if they are looking after themselves and you can see that they are taking breaks, making sure that they are getting out and getting some exercise, let them know that you've noticed and that you're pleased about it. Young people and children generally repeat what they get praised for. So the more you want them to do of whatever the activity is, it's worth praising each time they do it if you can. As I mentioned, do encourage them and try and help them to structure time to see their friends and to interact with their friends in order to just reduce that sense of isolation. If they are doing their booster activities, lots of those work really well with a partner, so they could use a revision buddy. They could pick one of their mates and do some revision activities with them. I know it's not exactly rock and roll, but it's a way of spending some time with a friend whilst doing something in the way of learning. A really important one at this time, given the amount of hours a day that young people are on screen, is to try and get them to unplug well before bedtime, ideally a good hour before bedtime if you can, so that they actually have time to decompress and just let their brain calm down, if you like, before they get ready to sleep. Encouraging young people to leave their devices downstairs rather than in their bedroom, if that's possible. We know it's all too easy, and I have to put my hand up myself. I know I do this too. Just that last quick check on an email or a quick social media surf just before lights out, and that can undo all of the good they've done. If they've unplugged an hour before bed and then they go on Snapchat or Facebook just before they go to sleep, the chances are the sleep's going to be delayed as a result. So just making sure that as parents we're able to say, you do need your sleep, and we're going to sort of put systems in place to try and encourage you to sleep as well as possible. The charity Young Minds has a really good campaign called Take 20, which has been running for quite a while. And the idea there is that we try and take 20 minutes a day with our child to just be present if they need to chat or spend time with us. Now, I don't know about you, but if I could find 20 minutes in one go with each of my children, I'd be doing very well at the moment. And if you are also in that position where you're juggling working from home, possibly more than one child, trying to do online learning with them, run a vacuum around the house, I mean, goodness me, if you're doing that, you're definitely beating us this week. So I would suggest that Thesan's policy on this is actually take 5. If you can find 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, once or twice a day, just to be in the same place as your child, having a very informal check-in. It might be while you're putting the dinner out and having tea. It might be while you're stacking the dishwasher. It might be taking the dog for a walk. It doesn't matter what it is. The more relaxed and informal, the better. You're just demonstrating to your child that you are present, that you're there. And if they need to have a natter or if they need to vent and have a shout, you're there. And you might find there's a bit more venting going on than you'd bargained for. I have to tell myself regularly that actually children vent with the people they feel safest with. And that's quite a useful reframe if you are dealing with what we might term a stroppy teenager right now. But actually, stroppiness and venting is completely reasonable. We are living through prolonged stress, and this has been going on for the best part of a year now. They're probably missing their friends. They're probably fed up with the lack of routine in terms of not being at school. I can't blame them for venting, and the chances are we're probably venting too more than we might normally as parents, because we are all feeling this now. So just trying to let the storm pass without rising to it, if we can, is definitely the way to go with this. And then when the storm has passed, when the shout or the strop or the door slamming have ended, that's the time to have a chat and just see if there's anything that we can do to help. And my last top tip really is just to say that we need to look after ourselves as parents. And if you are really pushed at the moment, if you are working flat out, if you're trying to keep on top of the house, look after your kids, the chances are there's very little time left for you and very little space in your day to even catch your breath. As I said earlier, children learn through what we do, not through what we say. So I think this is a really good reason for us to be able to take a break whenever we can and to model that self-care. And with that in mind, I am going to, at the end of this vlog, go and make myself a pint of Yorkshire tea and grab 2 or 3 chocolate digestives and just sit down for 5 minutes before I do my next job. And if you're able to do the same, do. Okay, I will be with your young people when they are finally back in school, and we can't wait to see them. If you need support from the school, please do ask. Form tutors, teachers are all there. They really want to help. And look after yourselves. Stay safe, and let's see each other really soon. Bye for now.